I was the youngest of 8, and then when my mother was pregnant with me, she came to Boston and had me on December 29th. Not exactly the best time to have a kid and be homeless. The kids were taken away from my mother, put into the system. Through the years, me and my brother eventually end up getting adopted by the Raymond family. We used exercise, weight training as a way to deal with shit. I started training 7, 8 years old. I was the height I am now, and 150 pounds of muscle at 12.
Turned down, I think, 3 pro cards even.
Yeah.
Because he was still natural back then.
Started competing in '93 and waited till '09. I went through all the natural organizations. I did the Universe, I did Muscle Mania, and amongst many others. I wanted to be the best at something. I wanted to be the best in the world natural bodybuilder. When I accepted the pro card was in '07.
Yeah,
2 weeks later, I broke my leg. I had 3 screws put in my ankle. In 3 months, I went from 184 to 202 on stage. And
wow.
went against Flex in the Atlantic City Pro. He beat me, I was second. It was a great lineup. That qualified me for the Olympia, which was a few weeks later.
So you started with just the testosterone or what?
Test and DECA.
Yeah.
Immediately grew titties. Like overnight.
Yeah,
It's like heroin.
Big surprise, guys. I'm now with Gasp. I've been wearing that stuff for like 7, 8 years. I've been knowing them personally. The owners, Michael, he's the greatest guy. He just supports the sport of bodybuilding, putting up events, building community, friendships. It's all about love and positivity. The clothing is very cool. Everyone who's deep into bodybuilding knows GASP stands for bodybuilding. If that's where you want to spend your money on, then use my code and have a good conscience doing so.
We're here for a new episode of the Overcome podcast with Jose Raymond, 212 legend. He started bodybuilding, actually competing at the age of 18, I believe.
Yeah.
He's been in the game since forever. Turned down, I think, 3 pro cards even.
Yeah.
Because he was still natural back then. That's a very interesting story we get into. Yeah, I got him here from the Olympia. Thank you so much for your time, first of all.
My pleasure.
Yeah, real big pleasure for me too. He's a big expert also on critiquing physiques and seeing who's good and not. People go to him and ask him like, am I ready? What do you see? What should I improve on? He's also on the Menace podcast, if you don't know that a lot. So there you can find more about him. But to find out more about him, we're going to start now. Thank you for being here first. And I want to get into like your childhood first. And like, I read that you have 8 siblings, is that correct?
Yeah, more if you include my adopted family.
Yeah, and so your upbringing was probably pretty tough in Boston with your big brother Tito kind of guiding you. Can you get into that a little bit and how bodybuilding helped you and just how growing up in Boston was?
Yeah, so I was the youngest of 8, and I was the only one born here in Boston. All 7 of my other siblings were born in Chicago. And then when my mother was pregnant with me, she came to Boston and had me on December 29th. Not exactly the best time to have a kid and be homeless.
That was the date when I came to the United States.
See that? We were meant to meet. So yeah, long story short, the kids were taken away from my mother, put into the system, and through the years, me and my brother eventually end up getting adopted by the Raymond family, and that's how I got that name. And yeah, we used exercise and weight training as a way to deal with shit. We both played football. I wrestled, and I started training as soon as he did. So it was like 7, 8 years old, and because he's 6 years older than me. So by the time he was, 13, 14, getting ready for freshman football, I started training with him. So that just led to year after year getting bigger and bigger. And by the time I was in junior high, everyone's like, what the hell? I didn't look like a normal 12-year-old, I was the height I am now and 150 pounds of muscle at 12. And so we knew there was going to be that direction. I didn't think about competing, but we had the magazines. We'd look at them and really admire these guys. And then after high school, I went on to college to play football. But my brother was doing the New Englands, and I was 18.
One quick question. So you and your brother, as the two, were adopted by one family, and your other siblings went another way.
Right, exactly.
But like, did you reconnect?
Yeah, we always stayed in touch because some of them are like 16 years older than me and 10 years older. So some of them were already on their own or were fostered by families nearby. We were lucky in that sense. So we did stay in touch, and we still do to this day. I have a brother I'm going to visit after this. He lives here.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and so my brother finally convinced me to do a show with him. And I just was not into it. I thought it was weird. You're going on stage in your underwear, And I did it. That was in 1994. No, 93. And I won. And that was back when teens used to actually compete. If you go to a local show today, there might be one or two.
Yeah.
We had like 7. And it was awesome. And I won in front of 1,000 fans. And I knew that moment that I wanted to do this.
And your brother taught you everything, like the posing and everything?
Oh, yeah. So my brother and I both went to school for exercise science. He was 6 years ahead of me. So he went to school and he would, use me as his guinea pig as he's learning this stuff. And obviously you had Chris Aceto on the podcast.
Yeah.
My brother was was mentored by Chris by Jeff King. Jeff King was this guy with a giant neck. They all went to Springfield College.
That was the fat doctor guy, right?
Jeff King was Mr. America.
Oh, no. Okay, then okay. Because Aceto said his mentor was like a fat doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Doctor.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Okay. Sorry, Jeff King. You're not a fat doctor.
But that was Bob Gruskin.
Right.
Yeah. So Jeff King, Chris had prepped Jeff King for a show. Mm-hmm. Then Jeff prepped my brother for a show. And he did really well and so on. And I'd heard of Chris for years and years and years before I ever met him. It wasn't until I was actually competing as a pro that I saw him on RX Muscle with Dave Palumbo, and he would always speak highly of me and like, that guy's got a great physique. I'd love to get my hands on him, and because he knew my backstory as well.
That took so long then, because you turned pro, and when was that?
When I accepted the pro card was in 07.
Yeah. See.
2 weeks later, I broke my leg. I had 3 screws put in my ankle, and so I was out for 08. I came back in 09. And it was 2010 that he and I started talking.
So that was like 15 years after your first show.
Oh,
17 years.
Yeah, more.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I had already won 5 pro shows before I met Chris.
Yeah.
And but luckily it was perfect timing because that's when it was turning to 212. And I would have been perfect at 202. I wish it had stayed there. And because look at you, half of the guys aren't 212 anyway.
That's true. Sean Corrida's way.
The top 3 were all way under 212.
But this year not. This year, Keon is way heavier.
Well, he weighed in at 211.
Yeah.
Which means he was 207 on stage. You don't think he put weight on after weigh-ins?
Oh, you don't think?
No, I don't know anyone who does.
He lost so much to get into the weigh-in. So.
No, I'm not buying that.
Oh,
I know from experience.
That's what Tour told me. So Tour told me he's like 217, 218.
Well, then that was a mistake.
They have to go down.
But so there was that connection between me and Chris years before I ever met him. It was really cool. That's why we talk pretty much daily.
But I mean, bodybuilding requires like discipline. You have to obviously follow a meal plan and all that.
Yeah.
What was your driver and motivation? Why are you a person that was able to do that? Did you have something in your childhood that drove you to excel further than others, or what was?
Yeah, parts of my life were horrific, and so when I was adopted into such a wonderful community, and I'd hear people complaining about certain things, and then I'm like not knowing where I'm going to sleep tomorrow, or if I'm going to have breakfast, or what. So I would laugh at their problems. So when it came to like having problems, I never stressed out much over things. I thought it was easy. Just do what you got to do and get it done. I always tell this story. My father, who's no longer with us, who adopted me, he was a rough around the edges kind of guy. And back in the 70s or 80s, the word nigger or spick was used. You can bleep that if you want, but and it was used quite often in my household, and in the town I grew up in. So it always hit me. It was derogatory, no matter how you used it, and I would get pissed. So one of my jobs, I had a job as a kid from the household, would be to take out the trash, fill the wood box, because we had a wood burning stove that heated the whole house. And I got so mad that I was like, all right, I'm going to bring up as much wood until this becomes an absolute nightmare for everyone up here. So I had a paper route. I filled the paper bag with as much chopped wood, put it on my head, filled my arms, and climbed up the stairs and stacked it in the living room. Kept doing it over and over again until finally my father comes out and is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was trying to fill the whole room up with wood. And that was the kind of thing I would do. I would spend hours and hours and hours obsessing over certain things. And it made me feel good. It was a weird thing. So, by the time I got in high school and I'm wrestling and I had to lose 8 pounds in a day and a half or something, I'd take it as a challenge. And I could do shit that other people couldn't do. And it made me feel special. So I would use that. And then, when it came to bodybuilding, I'm like, that's a breeze, like making weight. I showed up in Vegas for the USA's in 2000, and I was 156. And I jogged, sweat, walked around the parking lot, came back in. I was 155, and I'm like less than a quarter of a pound overweight. And they're like, I don't care, go lose it. And I did that. I would make it every time. I never missed weight. Sometimes it was even worse. I would get to Vegas for the Olympia, and I'd be 218 and we're weighing in that night. And I never sweat. I mentally sweat. I physically sweat. And I always made the weight. And, I don't know where certain discipline comes from, but you nailed it. It's usually something inside you that either an incident when you were a kid or trying to prove someone wrong.
But you didn't have a person or a community that you wanted to prove wrong. It was more from you not like having so much perspective and so much, bad things in your life that just other things came easy. Or like felt easy because you're like, well, I have done this. This is nothing.
Right. Yeah, I did have a great community around me, but I nobody that I wanted to prove wrong. I wanted to prove them right because they all believed in me.
And you like challenges, it seems.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm like, how can you live a life without any challenge that you put on yourself to achieve something? Like, where are you going? Why are you waking up? I don't get it. But a lot of people are just like, I think there's a lot of hedonism in this world. And people think that's where they find their purpose, and it's totally not the case.
Yeah.
Right? So people just want to have like vacation and whatever, but that's not a driving force for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know anyone. And yeah, so that's interesting. When you competed naturally for so long. How do you feel that was different from then when was it exactly that you switched to the other side?
09.
09. So how do you see the differences in between those?
Well, everything's different because I never experienced anything in my life like that. You know, I started competing in 93 and waited till 09. Mm-hmm. I went through all the natural organizations. I did the Universe, I did Muscle Mania, and amongst many others. And, you know, I wanted to be the best at something. I wanted to be the best in the world natural bodybuilder. And I looked up to so many of them that I respected, my brother, namely. And I started winning. I won USA's and the Nationals before I was able to win the Universe, which was drug tested. Mm-hmm. And that's how difficult that was at that time. We had a batch of lightweights that were so nasty.
I want to thank everyone who's on this channel, who is supporting. These times are really tough when I lost 2 accounts. So it is even more crucial for me to be able to sustain this, sending you to my link tree in order to order with my discount codes so the commissions can fund this channel, because it is a full-time job. Everything that I recommend you can get on there, gas clothing like this. So please support and subscribe to this channel and tell all your friends about it. It's very crucial to me and to the existence of this channel. Thank you so much.
Back in the late 90s, early 2000. Like, do you remember Tricky Jackson? He was a 212, 202 guy. Derek Farnsworth.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. He was an ally of mine.
I think didn't he just do the Masters?
He did. He did. He looks crazy.
He's like 53, something like that.
Maybe more, 54. Yeah. But, yeah, so I went that route, and you know, I had the guy that owns the Muscle Mania. He was offering me, like, we're gonna fly you around the world, and you're gonna be the face of Muscle Mania, you and your brother, and I was like, nah, I want to compete against the best. I'm like, if I just won your overall at 100, I don't know what I weighed, 155, then that isn't the best. I want to go against the best. And eventually I had to go to the USA's, Nationals, but I won. So it was weird, you know?
But you couldn't go to the pros because you knew, like...
That was Jay and Ronnie,
yeah.
01. They were both 100 pounds bigger than me, 100 plus.
But then the 202 came.
Yep, 6 years later, in 07, it was 210 back then. But there was an outlet. There was a light at the end of the tunnel, like, oh, you can do this. So I was like, all right. So I accepted my pro card in 07, and 2 weeks later broke my leg. So I missed that whole year. When I thought I was in great shape. I was only 184 pounds. And I did the New York Pro, and I got smoked. I came in 7th or 8th even. I think I lost to Vinny Galanti. I just saw a picture of him.
Yeah, Vinny Galanti.
Yeah.
Actually wanted him on the podcast too, but it didn't came to.
Oh, he would do it. Vinny's great.
Oh, yeah. He will.
That lineup that year in the New York Pro was absolutely nasty. It was Kevin English.
Yeah.
David Henry. Eduardo Correa.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So everyone who was in the top later.
Yeah. Fakri. You remember Fakri?
Yeah.
Mark Dugdale.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think even Jason Arntz. Remember Jason Arntz?
Yeah. Like, I know him because, like, when I lived in Venice, he's right over the leg press.
Yeah. Oh,
because there's all the winners.
Yeah.
And there's Jason Arntz. And I was like, what does Jason Arntz do now?
He's part of or owns a supplement company. Yeah. He's doing really well. I saw him a couple of weeks ago at a show he was judging. One of my clients was competing.
Yeah, but then you moved on and we're like, I don't think you were ever out of the top 5 then, huh?
Not after that year.
2000, yeah.
I ended up placing 8th at New York. That's when I decided, I'm like, I see all these guys. I'm like, I can beat these guys. I'm like, I know I can.
Yeah.
So I started like immediately.
And so how did that go?
Within
How was it different and everything?
Oh, dude, I can't. It's like heroin. Like you do it, and then you don't know what to expect. It's fucking ass is kind of sore for a day or two, but then something happens in the gym. A weight that you normally would, get 8 to 10 for, you're doing 15 now. And, now you can go up, and it's happening at an alarming rate. I went from deadlifting, 400 pounds to within a few months, 600 pounds.
Who guided you?
Nobody.
Like you were just like, let's just start with some tests.
Yeah, I had a guy in the gym, but he cared about me, so he wasn't like stupid. And I knew not to do anything stupid.
So you started with just the testosterone or what?
Test and Deca.
Yeah.
Immediately grew titties. Like overnight.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about anti-estrogens or anything.
Dude, I'm so lucky I didn't start the same way, because the guys that, like, I was offered when I was 18, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. And I would have probably started the same way.
Yeah.
And then probably some D-ball, and I would have gotten the worst gyno ever, because I'm very prone.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I didn't do it, yeah.
Yeah. So I was able to starve it off, and within 3 months, I went from 184 to 202 on stage. And
Oh, wow.
went against Flex in the Atlantic City Pro. He beat me. I was second. It was a great lineup. That qualified me for the Olympia, which was a few weeks later. So I went to the Olympia, and Flex beat me again. He was 5th. I was 6th. After that year, I was in the top 5 every year for 9 years.
Was it also easier for you to get in shape?
Yeah, because that was another thing I didn't mind doing. I would do hours of cardio. You mean the enhancements?
Yeah.
No, because I could get peeled as a natural. In fact, it was probably a bit harder because you're holding water. You're looking at your physique. You don't really know what's muscle and what's water, what's fat.
You have way more parameters to take care of.
Exactly.
It's not just like, diet and training. It's like, we got to figure this out. And then, the prolactin and estrogen. And yeah.
It was cool because the way I went about it, like I only did a couple of things. And then a year or two later, I would ask someone, and they're like, why don't you try growth? I'm like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, that'll get you peeled. And I'm like, all right. so I tried some growth. I was able to get this Norditropin that was brand new out of the cooler. You slit the tape and frozen ice would come out, the smoke. And so that was the realest stuff ever. And that's when changes really started to happen. Like my facial structure was changing, and like all I did was like I'd go click, click, click on the Norditropin pin. Now I don't know the conversion of whatever that is, how many it is. It was probably 4 IUs or something a day. And but I probably was the most peeled in that show than any other show in my life.
Did you also stop it before the show, or did you run?
Yes, I did. I knew enough to stop, like a few days. Even like at the height of my career, when I was working with Chris, I would ask him, like, when should I stay? He's like, no, you look fucking great. You're not holding water. I didn't hold water really from growth, but I knew like I wouldn't do a injection in my glute or something the week of the show. So, but yeah, growth I would stop 2 to 3 days before the show. Like if I'm competing Saturday, I'll stop it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or do my last one Wednesday morning.
Yeah, I do that way earlier because I hold water, and then I don't want to gamble on what's fat and what's water. So
Yeah.
I kind of stop like 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
So I know.
Oh,
But
wow.
then I switched to HGH Frag, which is just the part
peptide?
of the frag is the fragment of the GH that only is responsible for burning fat. So then I don't have the water stuff, but I still have some fat burning. So I just switched to that. Or I feel like you could also do something like a secretagogue or some GHRH. They don't really hold water, and they're like way less potent, but you have like a little bit.
Yeah. I'm an absolute caveman when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do any peptides. I've done growth. I know it works. I'll use it. I've done tests. It's tested. People have been using it for 50 years.
It's way more effective. It's just for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, for anabolic reasons, I wouldn't trade that in.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. Yeah, but that's interesting because like a lot of people like think, oh, once you start, you just what gets way easier to get peeled, and you're saying, what? You know what? You still have to do all the cardio and all that, and you still have to suffer. So this, yeah,
100%. I got more peeled as an amateur, as a natural, but I grew so much more that there was now new muscle that could be striated, and you know what I mean. Even if I wasn't as lean, it looked crazier.
yeah. Who guided you? Like you said, some guy from the gym, but then Aceto did, I guess.
Well, Kevin English prepped me for the New York Pro in 2011.
That's funny because he was competing himself, huh?
No, he didn't compete in that one.
No, but like at the same time, the
Yeah.
same like
We became
category.
really close during those years, and that was the year I beat Flex at the New York Pro in 2011. And Kevin actually helped me for that show. And
So you won that New York Pro that year.
yeah, I was peeled crazy. And then moved forward, and then 2012.
It was a first year Flex one?
Yes. I was at the Arnold Classic and happened to be flying home with Chris. He had an empty seat next to him. He's like, sit down. So we sat and talked, and I was like, I'd really like to work with you. I'm like, because I never really had a coach, someone that would, it was more Kevin just being like, try this, try it, And he's like, let me see if Eduardo, because he was only working with Eduardo back then. That's it. He would work with one 212 guy and one open guy. Like he didn't want infighting or
Wow, now he has like
11 guys.
categories.
Yeah. And so he goes, go do the New York Pro, do your best, and we'll talk after that. Because when the Arnold was March, April, May, so it was probably 8 weeks before I went and did the Arnold, and I placed third. Do you remember Sammy Al-Haddad?
Yes.
Yes, so Kevin won, Sammy was second, and I was third.
Very aesthetic upper body.
Beautiful, yeah. And he called me the very next day, Chris, and he was like, F this. He's like, you can win the Olympia. He's like, let's start now. I'm like, all right, awesome. And then we were off, and it was so great because prior to Chris, I never weighed a meal in my life. I would just eyeball it, a little bit of rice, a little bit of chicken. And he's now giving me numbers. Like, this is how it's got to be. This is how much.
Major announcement, guys. The Peptide Encyclopedia is now to download. Check out the link in the description or the pinned comment, or go on my link tree. And the Anabolic Handbook is also available. All the compounds from A to Z broken down into benefits, downsides, administration, and so on. One favor I got to ask you though, if you could subscribe to this channel to help it grow, to get the highest caliber people on this podcast, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. Now on with the episode. Major announcement, guys. The Peptide Encyclopedia is now to download. Check out the link in the description or the pinned comment, or go on my link tree. And the Anabolic Handbook is also available. all the compounds from A to Z broken down into benefits, downsides, administration, and so on. One favor I got to ask you though, if you could subscribe to this channel to help it grow, to get the highest caliber people on this podcast, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. Now on with the episode.
And then, do this, and this for as far as supplementation. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's it? I'm like, all right, cool. Because I'm hearing these numbers, people are like, oh, yeah, you got to do at least 1,500 tests. And, I was doing 300. Imagine that.
If it's only that, then it's pretty low, but I guess you took something on top.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so... now people go, like a lot of people go back to that. They go to lower tests and more anabolics.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of people, a lot of tests also brings a lot of side effects or a lot of things
lot
you
of
have to
estrogen.
keep controlling. Yeah, exactly. So they rather run other stuff higher and test lower. Yeah. I think it's very individual. Some people they don't convert. Yeah. Like they don't have any gyno problems, any water problems. They can run a gram a test. They don't need an astrazole or any blocker. Then that's, but it's so individual. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of people go back to that. And, from everything I hear from Aceto, he's very responsible.
Very low. Yeah. Like, he's smart. Like, if you don't need it, why use it?
Yeah.
He kind of wants to gauge and see how you do. If you need a little bit more, he will. But with me, in 2013, when I won New York, I beat Samuel Haddad. After he beat me the year before, I remember it plain as day what I was doing. I was doing 100 mgs of test prop every other day, 100 mgs of Tren Ace every other day, 100 mgs of Masteron every other day, and 40 mgs of Anavar a day.
Yeah, works.
That's 900 of injectable. Most people do that of one product. That was total.
Yeah. But I mean, Tren 350 a week is pretty
more
powerful.
than enough. Yeah.
And that's what I always tell people. Like, if you're so good naturally, and then obviously it's also how you react on the gear. There's an enzyme I haven't heard about for a long time, CYP450, and you can measure that, and that kind of determines how sensitive are you to meds, to steroids and stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they react on 500 as others of 1500. So if you need 500, why take 1500? So it's very individual. That's why a lot of people, they take so much and nothing happens, and then they're like, this guy must be lying. I would urge you to test that enzyme on yourself and see, maybe you're just a bad responder, or like in a way you probably have less side effects with a lower dose, but also less effects. So it's super individual. It's like with everything. It's weird that people always think with bodybuilding, there's one size fits all, but every other drug or every other med, everyone's very different, right?
Yeah.
But why would it be different with bodybuilding? People always assume or like people think Usain Bolt, like, if I would take as much juice as Usain Bolt, I would run as fast as him. No one would think that, right?
Right.
But with bodybuilding, it's like, if I take as much as Nick Walker, I'll look like him.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you think that? It doesn't work in any other sport.
Yeah.
You're not going to be Lance Armstrong from taking what Lance Armstrong took.
Yeah. Most of us know this.
They don't
but
want to admit it.
Young kids, the Tren twins or something, well, kids that follow them believe that.
Yeah. I feel a lot of people, maybe it's just the people that comment, believe it. And the comments, they kind of like maybe don't really paint the actual picture of the people out there. So the people commenting or the people hating or the people being negative are always louder than the ones positive.
Yeah.
I feel the positive people, they don't comment as much.
Oh,
so,
I never comment.
So it just disturbs the picture a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe in that sense. When did you feel you were closest enough, or the closest to becoming Mr. Olympia? What was the year that you're like, damn, this year
2011.
2011.
Yeah, if you look back at the pictures of me, Flex, and Kevin, we it was really damn close. So I'm like, I'm that close to winning. And then 2012, same thing. 2013, 2014. I was top 3 4 times, in top 2 once. Obviously, 2015, I went all in. I thought that was going to be the year I would win.
Why was that?
Because I won the Arnold. I was 3rd at the Olympia that year, and it was really tight. And then I went to Korea, and I could have knocked him off there. It was me and Flex again. And it was just, I was getting better and better and hunting him down and hunting him down and hunting him down. And then I went, and he obviously didn't do the Arnold, but I did, and I won. And I looked ridiculous at the Arnold compared to even just a few months prior. It was probably 6 months, because it was September, October. I think I was done competing by mid-October that year. So we say November, December, January, February, 5 months, whatever. I made massive gains from that. I just had a totally different look. I was much bigger and much harder. And I just knew something, I was onto something. And that year was huge, traveling and training, and just it all came to a head at the Olympia. And, to this day, people argue over that particular one. Because that was the one, if ever I was going to get him, that was it.
And you stopped in 17?
No, I competed again, 16, 17, 18.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now there's way more, I feel, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel there's more, division swapping. People go up and down and up and down. And do you feel that's kind of hurting the 212? I feel there's less shows. I'm not certain. I don't have the numbers, but I feel the 212 is, people don't find it as interesting anymore. You think I'm wrong, or
no? I don't think you're wrong. I think that I did 2 open shows. It didn't affect the 212 at that time.
Which shows did you do?
I did the Phoenix Europa, where I placed 2nd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I did the Ferrigno Classic, where I placed 4th, and that was against Brandon Curry and Cedric. Cedric won, or Brandon won, and Cedric was 2nd. And another guy was 3rd. I feel so bad when I forget his name. He's a great guy, too. Josh Ware. He was a Masters guy, big white guy. Anyway, I think that there's less superstars in the division today. You have Clarita and Keon. And then who else?
That's true, yeah.
You get that young 22-year-old kid.
He's coming.
He's going to be.
But he's pretty tall, too.
Back then...
He grows out of it fast, maybe.
He probably will. But back then it took longer to turn pro. So you had already been in magazines, you developed a reputation, and then you hit the scene. We had Mark Dugdale. I just named off all those guys. We had Samuel Haddad, a 5-time world champion. We had, all these different names, which it made it more exciting. And it was a perfect time for me to be in the scene. Because I'm not a social media guy. And today, you can't survive without social media.
Absolutely, yeah.
And, the guys who know how to do it are killing it. Like Matt Grego, these young kids are smoking it. But I grew up in a time where you had to do something. You had to actually win something big to get rewarded and to build your name. And, that's what I think is different. Outside of those top 2, there are some guys that are very good, but there's no,
no personality that's like, whoa.
Right.
Yeah. It's so true. The personalities really make divisions, like Seaborn with Classic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Urs is a star because
It's crazy. Yeah.
he knows how to handle himself. He knows how to, like, everything. Like, if I would have been more like the Nick Walker, like, screw you, Bob, or screw you, Sean Ray, where he, after Sean Ray told him he shouldn't compete, he's going to waste his time, it's a waste of time, he was like, I love you, Sean. I've always looked up to you. I respect your opinion. Thank you for your opinion. You know, I was so impressed by that because most people it would get under your skin.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, well, who the hell are you to tell me that?
Yeah.
You know, whereas I just love the kid. You see him walk out on stage. It doesn't matter if he's 15th or 1st. All eyes are on him.
Yeah.
You know, people want to see him.
Yeah, he's a massive machine in terms of business and everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like in Germany at the FIBO, the people at his booth, it's like,
He probably needs a dozen people working for him.
yeah. And like I'm already like, I can't go through the expo without stopping. And now, it's super cool. Like I've always like thought like if that would ever happen, that would be gonna be cool, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But it's like you want to go somewhere, and it's like kind of like
Takes twice as
a little
long.
bit. Yeah. And you can't go anywhere, man.
Yeah.
He has to go into burqa.
Yeah.
Like really, it's crazy. But the guy that's why I'm like, Sean, dude, the guy's making bank going to Olympia. Just the YouTube videos, all the merch he's gonna sell, all the supplements,
All the
he's gonna
possible
sell
connections.
extra. Yeah, he's probably like this trip's gonna be funded anyway. It's like that.
Yeah.
Like
And he's a young kid who loves doing this. Yeah. He's only going to learn from this experience. He will get better for having done it. I don't know where that comes from. Don't do it. Go.
It's because of Sean always talks about the business of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And it's like
Urs knows the business.
What about the passion of bodybuilding?
Yeah.
You know, if you want to do it, do it. If it's only business of bodybuilding, I wouldn't do any show. I always pay on top.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, maybe, you know, it's hard to really calculate how many clients did this show give me because they were like, oh, this guy gets shredded.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really like tell it. Like, it's hard to really analyze the data in that term, in that regard. But I'm like, do what you love, you know?
And do it well and do it often.
Yeah. If you can't afford it. But you know what happens if you get run over by a car or you have an injury?
Right.
And maybe it's the last Olympia you could have done, but you were like, Sean Ray said no.
No, I guarantee you tonight's going to be a beautiful situation for him.
Yeah. Tonight's the final, so we're shooting this as on Saturday of the Olympia. Obviously, it's going to come out a little later, so they'll be done already with.
Yeah.
What do you see one question I'm wondering before, because you took so long to, you know, go the enhanced route, but also in other terms, like, do you have any regrets looking back? Things you should have done before, maybe got a coach earlier or anything, or?
I have no regrets. There's no way of knowing. I think I did it the right way because I mastered every asset of bodybuilding. I knew my body inside and out. I knew what I had to eat to grow, I knew exactly how to train. I knew exactly how to diet, how much cardio I needed or didn't need. So when I did finally add that extra element, I went through the roof. Mm. And so I don't regret any of it. I mean, if I started it at 25, could I have been at multiple Olympias? But no, there was no 212 then.
Yeah.
So I would have been competing against the big guys.
Well, Lee Priest did pretty well. So.
And you know, you never know. You never know if I could have. There's no way of knowing.
Yeah.
But I got in and got out. But that's the point.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're happy about how it came about. So. Yeah.
I'm very happy.
That's great. And you seem pretty healthy.
Yeah, I am. Other than joints. Yeah. My joints are bad, but that's like a combination of years and years and years of training and sports and a genetic element. My brother had both hips done as well.
What was your training like, your philosophy, and how did it evolve? Did it change? Like, did you change up your system or your approach or your splits? How did you start out, and how would you say, like, what was the optimal for you?
I always started out super high reps because that's what my older brother had me doing as a kid, just as many reps as we could. And, that slowly evolved to trying to get stronger. And, I got stronger fast. So, like, by the time I was 14, a sophomore in high school, I was benching 3 plates. And, and then, so I started incorporating, of course, like 6 to 8 rep, trying to get really strong for football, for sports. And then after I graduated college and went more into bodybuilding training, I knew that I needed more reps to get like a real good pump. So what I used to do was pyramid up to as heavy as I could for, say, 6 or 8 reps, and immediately do a drop set and go as many as I could, drop again, do as many as I could. And I did that for many years, and that style worked for me. And then I'd say when I was like 38, stuff started happening. 39, I was getting so strong that it was irrelevant. Like I wasn't getting the pump anymore. I was getting like bone pain from putting too much weight on the bar. And I'm like, this is stupid. So then I would back off to something that was still moderately heavy. And I started incorporating like pause reps and get as many reps as I can, controlling it, say 4 reps in a row. Then I would hold it in the hole for a 2 count and then squeeze and do it again 4 times. And then 4 more, pump, pump, pump. And I would see how heavy I could go doing that. And that saved me because I wasn't just going all out with as heavy a possible weight. Now I'm going all out with a heavy weight that I can control. So if I couldn't pause them and get it anymore, I wouldn't go up. I would stop at that weight.
So you think through different techniques or slower training or let's say rest pause or stuff like that, you could still build the same amount of muscle then with kind of the more power building approach.
Absolutely. Because I grew tremendously through those years from 39 to 41.
So even though you didn't get stronger, you still...
I did get stronger. I got stronger using a different technique.
So if you would have trained the old way, you could have loaded up more plates?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. And I would have injured myself.
Yeah. But you never trained with that weight, so you got stronger with the lower weights.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And what's your take on frequency, and did you like always do every muscle once a week, or did you? Yeah. So you never did like a higher push-pull legs like.
So it would be like I would hit every muscle group twice every 10 days.
Every 10 days. Okay. So every 5 days, kind of once. Okay.
So I would say I'd hit legs on Monday, chest on Tuesday, back on Thursday, shoulders on Wednesday, arms on Friday, legs on Saturday, Sunday off.
Yeah.
Then legs again. So every like 10 days, I'll hit the muscle group for a second time.
Yeah, I was also never a fan of weekly splits because it's just such a stupid odd number.
Yeah.
It never fits my program or my recovery. You can make it fit, obviously, and also if you have a job, you might want to, plan the rest days accordingly. So you kind of have a 7-day-ish scheme.
Yeah.
But if you don't, it never fit me personally the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to do higher frequency and not too much. But you got way bigger than me, so I might be wrong.
I was lucky enough to work in the gym.
Yeah.
So I could, there were days, years where I would go literally, 40, 50, 60 days of training every day and didn't take a day off.
Yeah, me too.
But, I wouldn't recommend that, but I'm like, I feel good. I feel good. I can go do calves and abs. All right. And then, I would train sometimes twice a day, but it was when I was enhanced, and I was out of my mind. And I was making money. I'm like,
yeah, I'm too addicted too. I train every day. But if I'm really I'm too sore, and I can't. If I can't, I can't.
No.
But most of the times, I kind of can. So I do.
Yeah.
But I should stop myself sometimes. I'm like, you know what? Even though you can, you kind of should take off today. So I think I'm a better coach than
Yeah.
because I never had a coach because it's so tough for me to get, to take advice, because if you're like if you read so much, if you learn so much, you're like, well, I think I know better, So you're like,
you don't know unless you
want
do
to fight
it.
the coach.
Yeah.
So I think who I wouldn't fight is like someone like Patrick Tour. That's someone where even if he had something where I would slightly disagree, I'm like, all these guys look so great. I'm like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But most of the guys, I'm like, I kind of wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to a coach, period, unless I absolutely trusted them.
Yeah.
100%.
Who do you think are great coaches nowadays? And then
I know Chris is.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone else. I don't know the truth behind their protocols or.
This is my very own clothing line. Faith isn't meant to stay hidden. These shirts put your inside on the outside. One bold Bible verse, epic aligning images for street or gym. Every shirt sold sends $5 directly to Christian charities, building wells, feeding families, and sharing the gospel. This isn't just clothing. It's a walking testimony. Wear the word, show the world what you believe. Order now.
In over a decade of coaching, what I learned is you have to be able to ask the right questions and then know the proper answers. That's what I do best. If you want to find out more, get one of my 2 books I wrote on training, endocrinology, peptides. Sign up if you want to join my coaching. Links in the description below, or just message me on Instagram.
I didn't work with anyone else.
Yeah.
I had a brief stint with George Farah, and we just didn't communicate properly. He wanted me doing 20 minutes of cardio. I'm like, I'm a fat kid at heart. I need a lot more cardio than a normal person. And but yeah, I don't know the truth of how anyone really works. I've heard rumors. I've heard, I've had friends tell me what so-and-so told them to do, but I don't know the truth of any of that.
Yeah.
So all I know, and I mean, listen, Hani has 7 Olympias with Phil, and had one with Derek, and
I think he has like 27.
Hadi.
Yeah.
You can't deny that.
But he also only takes on great talent.
That too.
Yeah.
But
But he can nowadays. Obviously, he had to get there somewhere.
yeah, I mean, I like to say, like, my mother could prep fucking Phil Heath, But no, I mean, you got to give Hani his credit. He's got an incredible record.
I think Hani is probably so good as a coach more in a mental aspect.
Yeah.
That he has all these guys that are so under so much pressure and stress, and he probably has the right words for them and the wisdom. And
When he
also,
spends time with them, he'll fly out to their home.
And also, like, knowing this guy has coached so many people that are successful makes you way more calm right away. Yeah. Even if he would talk shit, you'd be like, you know what, the guy, he gets everyone in shape. I can calm down.
Yeah.
And I feel Chris Aceto has this calm too. Like when I talk to Chris, I'm like, he's kind of calming. Like he's like, I got it.
Yeah.
And if you have a coach and you feel like they got it, that's so important.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris was always calming to me because I trusted him implicitly. And even his demeanor, him and Jay talk the same way. They're like very slow, and he's the biggest thing is trust. Like I'm like, all right, I never once questioned anything, and everything worked.
Yeah. Regarding your training, since we just talked about like training every day and such, now I take a little more into consideration when I do like compound movements that they stress out my nervous system more. So even though my muscles might be recovered on the next day, maybe my mind's not. And then, I mean, you know how important that is if you want to, you know, hit a PR, like get stronger. You have to have the central nervous, you know, readiness and capability to let the muscles fire.
Yeah.
Because if your brain's tired, even if your muscles are recovered, they won't fire. So now I try to incorporate more machines so I can isolate a little more. I don't have like, if I do a bent over row, you know, which I feel is a great exercise, but you have hamstrings, you have lower back, you have so much playing into this, or deadlifts that will fatigue you more than if you have a chest supported row. How is that with you with training with machines? I guess you started out like all free weights.
Yeah.
But do you love light machines? Do you train more on machines now? What do you think are machines? Like, what is the role of machines in bodybuilding?
Today, I train more with machines because I have so many injuries. But I'm the polar opposite of you. I used dumbbells every chance I could, one-arm rows, bench press, shoulder presses, curls, barbells, pressing, squatting, deadlifting. I think that's by far the greatest way to build a dense body. But there's a place for machines if you know.
Yeah.
If you have an injury where supporting yourself is going to aggravate it. I think the most important thing is to learn how to squat, to learn how to deadlift and do all those motions where you don't have support. And you're going to build a stronger core. You're going to build like there's muscles that'll become stronger because of that.
Yeah.
And I think we were just talking about this today, me and Dennis James and Chris Cormier, about the bodies of like the 90s, early 2000s, or even 80s to today. What's different? Like,
you know what? I always had the same impression, and you got me a little wrong because, or like, I mean, from what I said, you got me right. But I'm always like, the foundation and the basic is free weights, and I can't prove it, but for the same reason, I feel these dense quality muscle that comes from free weights. I can't explain it, but I can only see it. The people that have it, they mostly train a lot of free weights. Back then, they look different. They look more dense, more grainy, more natural, but bigger.
Yeah.
And they trained all free weights. And once the machines came, the people looked more inflated and blown up. So I'm all with you.
Yeah.
But now I'm at New Tech Gym, and
machines are incredible, right?
they're so incredible. I'm like, I love those machines. They're so good and so smooth.
It's so good. There's almost no pressure. You know what I mean? I have the worst shoulders in the world. Yeah. I was able to rack their chest press, which I couldn't bench 225 right now. But it's weird. The motion, there's like no resistance. It's very weird. How
I feel there's no resistance on the passive structures. I mean, there's resistance on the muscle.
Yeah.
But that's perfect. You know, especially here, I feel I have drier knees from the air being so dry.
Yeah.
I bet in Florida I wouldn't have, like, I never had knee problems, and here I have drier knees. I need to warm up and use Tiger Balm, and then I'm good. You know, I can't still squat and everything, but so I used to squat every day, every leg training, sometimes even twice a week.
Would you say you're 37?
33.
Oh, shit, dude.
So I'm like, I was always like, if I don't squat and I don't build legs, I'll be like, yeah, because I didn't squat, so I need to do it.
Yeah.
So if I skip on the hard stuff, and then the result's not as good, I'm like, it's because I skipped on the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
If you can squat, now there's a difference. There's people whose bodies are designed differently, like long femurs.
I have very long femurs.
You know, it makes it hard to squat.
Yeah.
Then don't do it. But you can get on a Smith machine and squat.
Yeah.
You know, you can still do the motion and you're still balancing a little bit. You're not fully relying on a leg press or a hack squat.
I just feel squatting is always good, even if you have long femurs, but then you probably have a wider stance. So you complement it with an exercise where you can target the sweep more.
Yeah.
but you need to still train your adductors and all the other part of the leg anyways.
Yeah.
Do it with a squat, and what you can't hit with a squat, you can still do that. There's the machine.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's interesting that we have the same kind of
philosophy.
Yeah, we're like you also like what do you diagnoses? Why it's different nowadays?
Yeah.
Because I was always wondering, like, what is it? There was this year where they talked about arm separation, where we had all these blurry arms,
Yeah.
And you look back, and even in the 90s where they shut up their arms too, they weren't, they still, I don't know,
Yeah.
And
It would be a lot more like single arm preacher curl, dumbbell curls, a lot more free weight. I don't care what anyone says. Free weights is the way to go. The machines are simply if you have an injury and you can't do certain things. The machines are like an afterthought. I always started with a warm up with a machine, and always the main goal was to attack some compound movement, whether it be a squat, a deadlift, barbell rows, barbell presses. I would get my whole body warmed up for that one exercise, and I'd go all out for that exercise. So basically my whole workout was like 40 minutes of warming up for a 20-minute exercise, and I'd be done. I'd leave.
Oh, interesting. So you didn't spend much time in the gym actually, like with working sets?
No, it was usually 1 hour for a body part, sometimes less. If it's arms, I can do it in 35 minutes. But the whole idea is like I would do all isolation movements to focus and bring a lot of blood to that area. And then I would go to say an incline machine. That would warm it up even more. And then my ultimate goal was to get to either incline dumbbells or incline barbell or flat barbell and just do some inhuman shit. and finish there. It could be a squat. It could be a...
But everything you really describe as warm-up was really not even close to failure?
I would go to failure, but what's failure if you're doing 15 reps of it? You know what I mean?
It can still be very brutal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could still, pre-exhaust yourself in a way that you can't push your maximum after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'd go to a failure, but with his heavier weight, up to 12 to 15 reps.
Yeah, interesting. So we had the Olympia now. Let's say we had it. There's still the finals, but this comes out after. Where do you see the whole sport going? Like, are you enthusiastic about it? Is there things that you see go wrong that might be interesting to talk about? Because what's going right, we don't have to do much about.
I think the sport's headed in a great direction. I'm very excited. I think the way just look at the fans this year. I mean, thousands and thousands of that expo was crazy. Crazy how loud that was for the men's classic physique.
Yeah.
Crazy. And things are just getting better and better. And each year they learn something. We all learn something and try to incorporate it into making things better next year. Like they're going to do the point series to help bring down.
Yeah.
This year, 72 men's physique guys. That is just insane.
I wonder if I contributed to that change.
You might have. Have
you heard my podcast where I talked about it?
I don't know that one particular one.
They did the same thing, just that I said 15 and not 25.
Yeah.
They did exactly the same. But I'm not like...
It'll make for a better, enjoyable show for the fans.
Absolutely.
And for the athletes who don't have to sit backstage for hours.
Yeah, I mean, if you're 50th at the show, you're like, was it so necessary that you came?
And they're not going to actually judge you after 16.
Yeah. So they're so nice this year. They gave 6 call-outs.
Yeah, which was awesome.
They could have done 3 and be like, yeah, you all 16th. Like, we don't even care. But they gave everyone some time. That was actually very nice, I guess.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do that. So
So there's things with the judging I'd like to see improve. I'd like to see it. The less people there, the more time we'll have available to go back to the days when they would have fun call-outs. Like, I want to see just Andrew and just Samson, mano a mano. The crowd will go nuts and ring them through, put them through every pose multiple times. See who gets tired, and then, all right, Hardy and Derek, come out. Bang them up. See who wins that. All right, you guys rested? Derek and Andrew, let's go. You know, they used to do that stuff. They used to actually do round after round after. Now, granted, they had way more time back then because there was no other divisions. But I would love to see more in-depth judging.
So maybe a 3-day event and split it up more.
Yeah, then that's not feasible because you're renting the place that much longer.
But you have to pay for less athletes if you.
Well, that's the key. Once the you're gonna have way more time too. Importantly, I mean, this took an hour and 40 minutes to do prejudging just for men's physique.
Yeah, men's physique,
men's classic,
like two poses.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
So I think they're gonna learn from it. Hopefully tonight they do something like that. Do a little more extra comparisons. All the way up to the top 15 because these guys are damn good. People that are going to be 13, 14, 15 are damn good.
I think it's the closest Olympia in terms of quality, like in between the guys.
Yeah.
There were Mr. Olympias where you're like, this guy's going to be 15, 16 for sure. And this time's like, could be 8th, could be 16th. We'll see on the day.
I thought Bonac looked great.
Yeah.
Like he was peeled. He was thick as hell. Where do you put him?
8th or 9th, yeah.
Yeah, but he's probably going to end up, I don't know.
Tabani's probably like 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
Not 5th or something.
Right. Where's Urs going to be?
6. Urs like 12 or something.
Nick is going to be lucky if he's 6.
I thought Vito was really good.
Vito, how about Tonio?
But yeah, they like Tonio better.
And they loved Brandon. Brandon
was good, yeah.
Curry, yeah. And then you get Sauce, who looked flawless.
I would have had him further up.
Right?
He was bigger and the hardest ever.
He was the hardest guy in the show.
I loved it.
I just, I don't know if it's because he's short and not, he's probably 235.
But he didn't look that short, maybe because he stood next to other guys that
are short, yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't even look smaller. Like
this is what I'm talking about. There are some guys
Sauce was tremendous.
That are incredible.
Last year, Sauce would have been top 10.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Last year?
Oh, yeah, in that
right?
lineup.
Yeah. This year was so much deeper.
Yeah.
That's really cool, yeah. I agree with that. I have one concern that I heard Urs talking about, and he's pretty sure, I hope you're on my side, they want to bring it back to Orlando.
Orlando?
Yeah, the Olympia next year.
I'm not sure.
Terrible.
I'm not sure about that.
I think it's a terrible idea. I guess they want to save on the venue, but it's not going to be nice for all the visitors. The visitors, like, come on, Vegas is so good for bodybuilding. There's so many gyms. In Orlando, there's like this Kissing Me Muscle gym, and then you have to go to Planet Fitness.
Yeah, I think you guys, because of your accents, you mispronounced the word that they were trying to say. I'm not going to say it live because it hasn't been announced yet.
The Orlando? Urs said that. Urs said that in an interview that he thinks is going to be in Orlando.
No, it's not.
Okay, I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not. Because I think here is brilliant. Like the whole infrastructure is so great.
Yeah.
I just hope maybe they can get a better deal with venue or so.
Yeah, this is the best.
Here. Yeah.
This is the best spot to have it. It's a huge hub. Yeah. There's a million gyms. There's, it's not, I wouldn't think it's going anywhere. I'll tell you when we hang up.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I hope you see it the same way. Let us know in the comments or would you like to see it overseas? Maybe would you like the Olympia to travel? I just have, the one thing is like what you like, and then there's the visa thing again.
Yeah.
And then there's organization in another country that can go bad.
Yeah.
It's a big risk if you just swap venues to another country.
Yeah.
Like Because yes, it was in '83. It was in Munich, and it was in Finland when I think Yates won or whatever.
But it wasn't
It was two
big
divisions.
like this.
Exactly. It was 2 freaking divisions,
Yeah.
3 people in the crowd.
There wasn't 100,000 people flying into the city for this one event.
Yeah. You need the whole infrastructure for it.
Right.
I was always wondering, like, what if Arnold pulls out of Columbus? Columbus is done. This city probably.
He built that city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they probably live off him.
Yeah.
You know, of that weekend, you know, without the weekend, they would all shut down.
Yeah.
It's probably making their year. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. They built parking structures and all kinds of shit just for that.
Yeah.
On those weekends, all the like Cincinnati cabbies would drive down and
They make up for all the bad weekends in that one weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy what, like, bodybuilding has become something really crazy. And to be honest, I don't know how many people really go to the Arnold's for all the other sports. I wonder how.
well, you'd be surprised.
Do you think the expo would be full without bodybuilding?
Well, not as full, but you know, there's a lot going on. You know, the knights fighting with the armor and stabbing each other. It's pretty wild.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they have gymnastics, they have taekwondo, sumo wrestling. It's wild. They do a lot.
Yeah. We'll say.
Good
Thank you
enough.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on, man.
My
It was a
pleasure.
big pleasure.
Yeah.
I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope you guys liked him as a guest. And want him back whenever we meet. Let us know. Let us know what you want to hear. What did we not talk about that was so stupid we should have? And I hope you still leave a like and a comment and a subscription. And we see you in the next one. Bye-bye. And by the way, obviously, Jose, I'll link his Instagram in the description. And you can oftentimes see him on the Menace podcast, but if you follow his Instagram, you will see whatever he puts out there and probably announce. And yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Big surprise, guys. I'm now with Gasp.
Right now, up to 80% off site-wide on Better Bodies and on Gasp. Go for it now.